Currently, operating a profitable car company is similar to attempting to turn a cruise ship into a kiddie pool. Let's just say that not all of the balls Ford has been juggling lately are staying in the air. The times when Ford was a market leader, setting records and destroying competition are long gone. The current situation is somewhat of a roller coaster. The company is currently struggling to stay up with supply chain issues, customers who have shorter attention spans than goldfish, and technology that is evolving more quickly than your phone. You're in for some major headaches when you combine that with the drama of recalls, layoffs, and a production shutdown that has been going on for weeks. Ford just dropped a bombshell that has the entire auto industry talking. In the middle of all of this, what specifically were they announcing? And what effect will this have on the massive American automaker? Let's get started and discover. Ford used to be the undisputed king of automobiles not too long ago. They were the ones who essentially put the entire world on wheels, leading the way, constantly coming up with new ideas, and simply exuding that quintessential American inventiveness. However, things began to take a turn for the worse at some point. It was more like a series of minor errors that gradually developed into a significant headache rather than a single massive error. It was a recipe for disaster. Antiquated procedures, managers who appeared completely disconnected from what the public truly desired, and a great deal of internal strife. Additionally, businesses like Tesla and Toyota were rushing past Ford as it struggled to solve the problem. Things are starting to get really interesting now. The CEO of Ford just revealed something shocking, and dealers are going crazy. You see, Ford became a little too avaricious there for a while. They began raising the prices excessively, particularly for those attractive models like the Bronco. At the time, it seemed like a wise decision because demand was so high that people were willing to pay more than they should have. But now that interest rates are rising and the economy is changing, people are reconsidering. When they might be in a recession, who wants to spend a fortune on a car? Ford is currently faced with a difficult decision. Should they stick to their guns and see a sharp decline in sales, or should they cut prices and risk suffering significant financial losses? It's undoubtedly a difficult position to be in. You only need to walk into any Ford dealership to get a sense of how serious this is. Broncos, Rangers, and shiny F-150s will be parked in rows upon rows, hardly moving. The most popular rides on the street, the ones that would be grabbed before the salesperson could even put the window sticker on, are now filling up so quickly that dealers are running out of room. And I do mean it when I say that they are running out of space. Because their main lots are overflowing, some dealerships are actually parking these trucks and SUVs on grassy fields. They seem to be holding a festival for Ford trucks, but nobody is attending. The worst part is that there are significantly more brand new 223 models available for purchase than there are 225 models. That isn't typical, particularly in the truck industry. People are taking notice of a problem that is unique to Ford. This is where things get crazy. 5,063 brand new Ford trucks were still parked on lots across the United States as of November 2, 1994. At first glance, that figure might not seem significant, but let's examine it more closely. These trucks make up a staggering 2.5% of all new Ford trucks on the market at the moment. To put things in perspective, most other brands have already gotten rid of their older models by this time of year to make room for the newest and best. But those 223s are still out there at Ford, collecting dust rather than miles as they wait for buyers furthermore. What about the 2025 models? I wish you luck in locating one. Less than 1,000 of the more than 200,000 new Ford trucks that are currently on the market in the US are 225s. Think about it, less than 0.5%. They seem like legendary beings or something. Although you hear about them, nobody has ever seen one. Let's now contrast that with those of Ford's competitors. For instance, Chevrolet is engaged in a completely different strategy. More than half of their truck inventory has already been switched to the 2022 55 models. Their 2023s, meanwhile, are all but extinct. They're doing what Ford ought to be doing, which is to get rid of the older models and maintain a fresh inventory. Although Ram isn't exactly dominating, they are unquestionably outperforming Ford. 2023 models, or about 2% of Ram's current inventory, although it's not ideal, it's a breeze in comparison to Ford's predicament. Let's now take a moment to discuss the Bronco evermore. Do you recall how obtaining one felt like winning the lottery around a year ago? They were that uncommon. However, in the present day, they are ubiquitous. They seem to have cloned these things overnight, really, and the Bronco isn't the only one that is accumulated. Like artifacts in a parking lot museum, Ford's mainstay truck, the F-150s, sits on lots. Dealerships are forced to drastically reduce prices in order to move these trucks due to their extreme backlog. Furthermore, this is a national problem. not just a few dealerships here and there. And the Ranger too? The same tale.